Hey there, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you tuning in today. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the Shimano Curado DC. I've had it for about a month now, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. Again, like I mentioned, I had this for right at about a month, and I got the 8.5 gear ratio right hand, and that is the, there goes my buzzbait, 150 XG model. I got this mainly for topwater. I've got several other rigs, but I kind of wanted to get one just because, you know, the DC is kind of cool and I wanted to try it out. And I thought the 8.5 would be good for, like, you know, quickly starting up some buzz baits and things like that. It's actually quite fun to use for plastic frogs as well, I've found out. But pretty cool rod. So it's my first DC. I've got a Shimano SLX, just a base model one. And I've got several Lus and a Boo Garcia. So I've got a couple of different ones, but I've never had a DC before, so I definitely wanted to try one out. But yeah, it's very nice. Now, I will say, when I first got this and I went out to cast it, I got some backlashes, and I'm very familiar with bait casting. I've thrown them for years. So I think a lot of it is what type of expectation you have when you're going into the DC. If you set it up according to the owner's manual, they tell you basically to loosen up the tension knob until this spool, when moved like that, whenever it shakes and makes an audible click, then you want to tighten it back up until it stops that clicking, just to when it stops it. So if you set it up according to the manual, if you are to release the thumb button there, let this fall without stopping it, you're gonna get some overrun on it. Same thing goes for casting. Now, you can get away with certain lures based on their weights and wind conditions. Some of them you don't really have to thumb it, but a lot of times you are still gonna need to thumb this. So I went out, you know, you see all of those videos online of people bombing these things out there, and, you know, no thumb control whatsoever. You can do that, but you're gonna have to clamp it down so much you're gonna lose a lot of cast distance. So I would recommend go into this just knowing you're gonna still need to practice thumb control like you would on any bait caster, if you want, like, the optimal, you know, casting distance out of it, as well as not, you know, run into a lot of backlash issues. Where the DC, I've noticed, really works awesome is like in the wind. So if you're casting into wind, you can also, you can get away with some sloppy casts that you might backlash on non-DC units, more so with these. So that's kind of where it comes into play, but you do still have to use some thumb control on them for sure. What you do here on the side, this little wheel is based on what type of line you're going to be using. So the number 2 is going to be for braided lines or monofilament. Number 3 is going to be for fluorocarbon. Number 1 is basically, I don't want to say it's a free spool because it still applies brakes, but that's like if you're casting, I'd say probably a heavier lure, perfect conditions, no wind. Be careful with that one. I play with it a little bit, and it's easy to get some backlashes on it, even if you're careful. So I probably won't really be using the setting 1 very much at all. I've got braid on. I run a 50-pound braid on this. I use a setting 2 on it. And then the last one is setting 4. It's basically like the maximum brake setting. So if you're going to be, like, maybe doing some pitching or something like that, that's probably going to be good. Or if you're brand new to bait casting, you may want to play with that for a little bit. Or if you're, like, in an insane windy condition, which I've casted where we were having like 30-mile-plus wind gust in the setting 2, and I was fine with it. So the setting 2 does really good on your braided line. But yeah, that's basically how you set it up out of the box. You go by the line type. You adjust that tensioner until this thing starts to move a little bit, and then you back it off a bit more, tighten it to where it stops moving. So that's kind of how you set it up. But yeah, in terms of actual usage, it's great. It's a very, very smooth reel. It works great. I've got it paired with the Shimano SLX. This is a 7-foot medium heavy fast action. And this SLX rod is probably a little softer than I'm used to for the medium heavy fast I have, but it's working good. I actually caught my personal best on it. It was 7.08 pounds. I caught her on a black, what was it, a Megabass buzzbait. So that was pretty awesome. It was like the 3rd fish I caught on this new rig, my personal best, which was really sweet. But yeah, I like it. I got this in the 8.5. I honestly, I wouldn't mind actually having a slower gear ratio on one of these eventually, maybe for, like, you know, some underwater baits and things like that. But yeah, I mainly wanted this for topwater, and like I said, that 8.5 is great for how quickly it starts up your buzzbait actions and things like that, and you can really get it in quick. A lot of guys also say they like to use it for pitching because you can pitch it, lift it, get it back to the boat. I don't have a boat, so I don't really do much of that on lakes, but a lot of people say that 8.5 is great for that. But yeah, it's a good rig. if you guys have any questions about it, please let me know. I'll try to answer it. In terms of color, I would describe this as, it's kind of like a gray body, maybe slightly bluish. And then over here on the side, you may not be able to see this well in this lighting, but I'm trying to angle it. The actual, the handle itself is like a green, and then your tensioner knob is green as well. So that's, I'd say the star drag has maybe a slight, it's more of a black. It might kind of look green in certain lighting, but yeah, I'd say that's definitely more of a black color. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. But yeah, I'm pleased with it so far. Had no issues at all with it. That'd be my biggest thing, though, is when you go into buying one of these, just have a realistic expectation. You can't cast crazy and expect it to never backlash, because it surely can. But these are pretty fun in the wind, though. Yeah, so try it out and see what you guys think about them yourself. But I hope you have a good day. And again, if you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll do my best to answer it. I appreciate you guys checking out my channel, and hope you have a great day, and God bless you.